It's a very worthwhile effort on many fronts to keep our dunes intact and keep our beaches intact so that we don't have flooding of homes and destruction of property.
Flagler County's coastline took a major beating in the last 2 storms. Even before that, studies have shown nearly half of the country's coastline is eroding, with more than 3.5 million cubic yards of sand lost, a third of that happening in just the last decade. Commissioner Greg Hansen says the beaches are critical to Flagler's economy.
Tourism kind of lights the candle, and we need to do it. And if we do it right, if we repair this beach and do it right, then the annual cost is minimal. It gets down into hundreds of thousands of dollars, not millions of dollars. But this initial fix, this to fix our 18 miles.
Hansen also stressed the dune damage impacts far more than just the beach.
When the dunes break down and water flows inland, that's serious. And that destroys a lot of lives and a lot of property. And one of the great issues that people don't realize is how much protection our Outer Banks give to the city of Palm Coast. Because if we have a major storm in the islands, the Outer Banks breach, Palm Coast is going to flood.
Florida House Speaker Paul Renner, whose district includes Flagler County, echoed Hansen's sentiments and said not restoring the beach isn't an option.
Without a beach, there's no Flagler Beach. Without the tourism at the beach, city of Palm Coast, which doesn't have a beach, will suffer immensely because our revenues countywide will suffer immensely. So we have to restore our beach. And the path ahead is, one is short-term protection of the shoreline. And second would be to make sure that we have a long-term solution, and that means considering seawalls and doing other things that will protect our beaches over the long term.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office reminds residents that scammers don't take a break for the holiday season.
Sheriff Rick Staley says to watch out for phone scams, especially ones that could involve family members.
If you get a phone call indicating that your grandchild needs money for whatever reason, call them first before you send anyone any money, and just make sure that they truly are the person that is calling you. Scammers take advantage of the holiday season, and we don't want you to become the victim when they transfer thousands of dollars that you provided to them thinking that they were helping you.
Staley says to never give out personal or financial information over the phone and never agree to pay any sum of money by way of gift cards or cryptocurrency accounts. Those are clear indications that it is likely not legitimate. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
A Flagler County code enforcement officer is recognized for being an expert in his field.
Flagler County Code Enforcement Officer Scott Simon has achieved the highest certification level in the state of Florida. The certification is provided through the Florida Association of Code Enforcement, or FACE. Simon says code enforcement issues are ultimately about public safety.
Fundamentals of code enforcement, administrative aspects, legal aspects, and also to officer safety. Certification is needed in order to achieve the final, which is the code enforcement professional. To comply and take care of it before it gets to another stage. And that's the most satisfaction I get.
The Florida Association of Code Enforcement was established to study and advance the science and practice of code enforcement statewide through training, certification, and the exchange of ideas, information, and techniques, according to its website. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
What is the treatment for HIV?
Flagler County Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle said that HIV treatment has come of age.
There are antiviral medications that interfere with the viral replication process. They're different from antibiotics because antibiotics target bacteria and other organisms. The treatment we use in PrEP is just a simplified regimen that's similar to what we use for HIV. The HIV is usually 3 antivirals, and PrEP is like 1 or 2.
Bickle said that while at one time there was no treatment for HIV, there is now, and it's usually 1 pill a day with several medications in that pill. Flagler Health Matters is on WNZF on Saturday mornings at 11:30 and on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, more on testing for HIV. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.